Freshlist.io.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of You Deserve Fresh Lettuce. I am your co-host Rachel.
And I'm Talia.
And today we are talking about plastic surgery do's
and don'ts.
And don'ts. Oh my gosh. Don't forget to follow us on social media at YDFL Podcast. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, remember that you can ask Alexa
to play your favorite podcast, You Deserve Fresh
Lettuce. And you can catch us on YouTube as well.
Subscribe, listen, and follow.
All the good stuff. All right, plastic surgery. Boy, oh boy, have we been seeing some trends in plastic surgery.
Yes, indeedy.
Okay.
So the biggest trend I think right now that's going on that I've seen a lot is what they call the buchona look. And if you guys don't know what a buchona is, we're going to give you a little bit of like the 101 of Buchona?
Buchona 101.
Buchona 101. So basically what it is, did you notice how I changed my tone? I was like,
what it is.
So basically.
So what we're doing.
So what it is, and basically like they take the fat from here and they put it there.
First of all, you gotta go to like Tijuana, Mexico to get this surgery.
Because the doctors out here, for whatever reason, right, Rachel, they're very conservative, like
yes.
beyond. And the ones in Mexico, they'll take your neighbor's fat and like inject it on your rear.
Someone's listening going, what?
I got my neighbor, she looks chubby, and I want to have her give me the fat. So basically what it is they take, it's a BBL basically, right?
Yeah.
Where they contour your body and then they make your butt really big. You have a small little waist, big boobs, and it's this whole vibe and this whole look, and then you have to have the really long nails. Anyway, that's not plastic surgery.
If you can imagine it, we're talking about something that's really popular in the Latin community, but if you really just think about like Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, essentially Nicki Minaj, it's literally that. It's the exaggeration in the small waist and the exaggeration in the big butts. But I saw somebody post a video of a woman that they saw in Miami.
Okay.
And she was a woman of color, and when I tell you, it was like huge cement boulders in each of the butt cheeks. And then she had like a tiny midsection that looked very Frankensteinish, and then she had like boulder boobs, and I mean like actual huge. It was very weird, and of course that's not what most people are getting. But what it made
maybe that's the new look and we don't know. It's a boulder.
Oh no.
Boulder look.
It's like lumpy and and it just made me think of something.
Tell me.
Women, we go, not everybody, but under the knife, and we're trying to look a certain way, and we say we're not doing it for the men. But really at the end of the day, women are trying, we're out here, right? They seem to be competing with men. So many of these women are getting this, and it's like, my theory is like you're doing all this and you're still with some like broke guy that's cheating on you with like. So
this is what So this is the newest thing, and respectfully to anyone that has had any of these surgeries done, they're calling. Okay, so now there's been this change in the industry, in my opinion, because I've heard it a few times where they say if a girl looks like that, more than likely she went to Tijuana because they are not going to do it here. And usually if that happens, the guys that they're with are usually not, all of them are not ballers. So it's kind of like the broke look is what they're saying. Which is horrible, because I feel like that, it takes a lot of time and effort to go through go under all of these surgeries. I know that I have a girlfriend that dates a lot of European men, and she actually has like a place out in Italy, but she lives out here in our area. And she says that all Europeans hate that about the American population, that we're so obsessed, especially if you live in Southern California, and if you live in Los Angeles
or Miami
or Beverly Hills. That is that is like the capital world, or like the
duck lips and puffy cheeks surgery are like the norm.
And that is the absolute norm. And she was just saying how the guys are so turned off by the scars. That the guy was saying that he will not be with a woman that's been operated because it turns him off to see all the scarring. Because obviously they scar you when they have to do the tummy tucks and the girls getting the mommy makeovers. I feel that if that's what's going to make you happy, though, I'm not going to bash anybody. If that's what's going to make you happy to look like a buchona, then do it. I just think that there's a lot of things that happen too.
You know, I think that remembering a few things. You know, Jennifer Lopez came on the scene and she had a certain body type.
Right.
It was a slightly pear-shaped, you know, body type. That's a very common Latina feature. So it's very common for Latinas to have a little bit smaller waist and rounder behinds, heart-shaped butts, whatever. Very normal. I know when I was a young girl, same thing. It's just what it was. It didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. And if anything, back in the day, it was almost like because everybody was on this like Jane Fonda kick, and it was more like the song says, flat butts were the thing, and it was more about the boobs and like no butt and tiny hips and all this kind of stuff. Pamela Anderson, think Pamela Anderson. And so a lot of us girls who were shaped this way, you know, I know me, I'd put my like sweatshirt around my waist to go to the gym, like I kind of covered up a little bit more. In comes Jennifer Lopez, Selena movie, whatever you want to call it, and boom, here we go. Like we're off to the races. So it was like what Pamela Anderson did for breast implants, for sure, Jennifer Lopez did for this booty movement. And then here comes Kim Kardashian, her protege, so to speak. Yeah. And then here we go. But now we're into we went from like a subtle, like I'd like to plump up my booty and my boobs, to like we're way off the spectrum at this point. People. It is like,
but then there's now the whole thing with the explants. So now people are taking out the implants because there's
boobs,
a lot
and reducing the butts too.
And that's because of the fact that I guess the implants are causing a lot of like health problems.
It's 1,000% attributed to the trends in the porn industry. Every episode we've been talking about porn on some level, and so
I guess we're obsessed with porn
no, because you know so many of our trends, not only in technology but in the female beauty standard, come from the porn industry. For example, the hairless kitty is what I'll say. That all began from the adult industry, and now it's switched. And now the top-ranking adult movies supposedly are the ones with hair.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so there's a shift. I saw a whole article on like Newswire or whatever.
I didn't know that.
But it was like really interesting to me because everything always flip-flops. And so guess what? We went from like the big boobs were the thing for the porn industry. Now it's about the youthful. It's considered youthful to have very, very small
boobs.
Breasts. Yeah, breasts. And guess what? With the booties, guess what they've been doing? Following Kim and Chloe, noticing their butts are smaller, and they're calling it the Euro look. So now it's the Euro booty, which means they're shrinking them down. So everything goes from, it's like a spectrum. This way
up and down,
and that
up
way.
And down. Yeah, I've noticed it a lot, and you know, I think that it's, if you feel that there's something wrong, I always say, you know, whenever anyone's about to go under the knife, whether that's boobs, whether that's liposuction or tummy tucks or whatever it is, if it's something that bothers you, that is not allowing you to get out of your head for whatever reason, like there's something that really bothers you, obviously do the research, check out your doctors. I'm not that big about going out of the country just because I feel like, you're going to save some money, but is that going to save your life? And that doesn't guarantee that you're going to make it through here in the States. No. But at least you have the ability to sue somebody. But if you die, I mean, it doesn't matter. But my point is that in Mexico, I think there's just so many risks. And
they actually call it over there. There's places that they actually call them carnicerías, and in English it's meat butchers, like the butcher, like a meat market. Yeah,
that's kind of scary. I mean, it is really, really scary. I also see a lot of the women that do like the when they do the tummy tucks, and then you'll see the tattoos around the bellies, and that's how you know usually, or the belly buttons look
like pencil erasers.
For some reason, something about the tummy and the belly button, something's off with the belly button, and you can always see that it's been altered. But at the end of the day, I think it's whatever makes you feel good. I always do say also, though, just take into consideration, if you do go under the knife, it usually will take about 6 months before you actually recover from any type of surgery, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether it's breast, whether it's tummy tucks, whether it's any of that stuff. And that's just from not my personal experience, but just from what I've seen. Well, obviously my boobs, but I'm just saying, I've never done tummy tucks or anything like that. But the people that I've been in my circle have done it, and I always say it usually will take you about that long of time to actually get a workout regimen and get a good dietary, like get your diet locked down and go to the gym and drink your water. It takes about 6 months to see a change, and that's as long as it's going to take you.
And about the same amount of money.
To see that substantial amount of change in you if you put your hard effort into it.
Yeah.
And always remember too, though, that not everything's forever, meaning though you get breast implants, you have to change them, you have to replace them, you have to redo them. If you get a tummy tuck or liposuction has a tendency, and again, I'm not a doctor, but I know this from personal experience, wherever they take the fat out, yes, there is not going to be any fat growing in those areas, but it's going to grow somewhere else.
It does.
And
it's
you're
always
constantly
a weird place.
chasing the fat.
Yes.
So if you're not having like a healthy dietary or a healthy regimen on like a lifestyle, it's always going to come back.
It's definitely going to be a waste of money. I know for me personally, I have had plastic surgery on my breast like years ago, and then I also had weight loss surgery recently.
Congratulations,
and thank you. I'm 6 months post-op now as I'm making this episode, but I will tell you that before I embarked on the journey, it took me about 3 years to make the decision to do the weight loss surgery. And the reason why was because I kept wanting to do it myself. Like I kept wanting to I know I can do this. I know I'm stronger willed. Yeah. I know that I'm dedicated. I'm a very focused person. But at the end of the day, I did have a few health issues, and obviously like, there's like all these different things that come into play that you go, you know what? The ball's swinging more this way than this way more often. And guess what? I need to nip this in the bud. Or you look around your family like I did, and I go, oh my God, we're like a good 70% of everybody's like way overweight, way overweight. So then you go, that's scary. Maybe I got to do more or whatever. And I do see women who are overweight, and this is really, I think, a product of. This is really rests in the hands of the doctors making these decisions to take on these patients, because I see women who are like my size or bigger, and they're going under the knife to get these buchona bodies or whatever we want to call them, these Kim K bodies, and they do get transformed. But I'm thinking as a doctor, like you're saying, why would the doctor do that and put them at risk? Like, why wouldn't he say, hey, listen, go make the investment in you and prove to yourself that you can do this, and then whatever little bit needs to be sucked out or tucked,
we'll take care of it.
Then we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
But this is like full on obese. Like we're talking like their BMI must be like off the charts, and they're just going under the knife because they can.
Right. No, and I've seen it myself where, we're out to dinner and there's a particular person that's thinking or considering getting the BBL, the liposuction, the liposculpting, the cut here, the tuck there, and they're eating like
cheesecake.
Everything, like literally everything, and they're already kind of heavy. So in my opinion, I feel like, okay, well, once you have that surgery, it's a mental thing. Are they going to, are they going to surgically insert something in the brain also? And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but I'm just saying, if you have bad eating habits, the likelihood of you having bad eating habits even after your surgery are very likely.
It's good. That's what's going to happen.
If you haven't trained yourself. I don't know this. There's this book that I have my daughters read, and I will have to give it to you on the notes so that way we can plug it in on this particular episode. But this book is like by John Maxwell. It's like cybernetics. I don't even remember, something like that. And it basically tells, it was a plastic surgeon that talks about the different people that just ultra hyper focus on their imperfections. So when you actually look in the mirror, the things that you think you see, you hyper focus on them. So like, let's just say you don't like your thighs. The first thing you look at when you get up in the morning or you take a shower is going to be your thighs. It's never going to be anything else. And you're going to hyper focus on that area, and you're going to start to see things that aren't even really there,
that no one even cares about,
and nobody really cares about. And so that's kind of
I always say, look,
the education part of that one.
If you're the only naked woman in the room, if this is about the guys, okay, if you're the only naked woman in the room, I guarantee you're the hottest woman in the room. Like, he knows he's gonna get lucky, and so at the end of the day, women have their issues. They want to have the lights on or off or whatever the thing is, but to go under the knife and completely transform your body, fine, if that's what you want to do, like Delia's saying. Yeah. But I would gut check why you're doing it. If your husband or your significant other or some guy you really like seems to just be interested in those kinds of girls because of whatever, things fade out. And there is a famous Hollywood madam, and no, it's not Heidi Fleiss, it was another one, who said, show me a beautiful woman and I'll show you a man who's tired of sleeping with her. So remember that. So right now he could be all about the big boobs and oh my God, you have, like my husband used to kind of say, oh, it's because she had big boobs. And it's like, I didn't have big boobs. It was Jennifer Lopez style. I had little boobs and around her butt. And so then when I had a client who was a big plastic surgeon out here, he said, hey, I'll do them for you. And I said, okay. And I instantly remember thinking, I'm not really doing this for me. I'm doing this because my husband keeps kind of breaking his neck over women with the, with that. When I tell you I got them done, and obviously they did turn out beautiful, and I'm glad I did it, okay, in the long run. But that man had the actual audacity to say, I miss when you had your
small boobs.
Yeah, I miss them.
And
they
you know
were
what?
so amazing.
And that only shows you, and I don't mean to be rude, but that shows his insecurity.
Yeah.
And that's literally, a lot of the time, the men will kind of pour their insecurities onto you. Like, seriously, it looks like you've gained weight, or I don't like the way that looks, or that makes your butt look flat, or your boobs look weird, or oh my gosh, your boobs are sagging. You don't have, that what is it, that depth like you used to. They're not that big. You need to get them implanted. There's so many things, and I think that at the end of the day, you just have to be happy with yourself and everything that you do. Whether you get up in the morning and you get ready for yourself, it's you're showing up for yourself, basically.
It's really for yourself, and I guess my point is that they're going to change their mind. Because they're going to change their mind depending on what's popular on porn too. Because they're going to see things. Listen, guys like new, fresh, different things. It could even
we say talking about porn.
Yeah, we do, because it's like, because at the end of the day, you know what, they get exposed to so much, and funny. You know what, they could be exposed to some 18-year-old girl that doesn't have any surgeries whatsoever, right. And at the end of the day, you might be 20 years deep in the marriage with 2 kids and whatever, and you know what, you are beautiful. Like, you are likely beautiful just the way you are, and just do things to improve your health, right? What I personally chose to do with my weight loss surgery was for my health benefits. I was having a lot of health issues that were not caused by the weight gain, but they were aggravated by the fact that I was overweight. So you make these decisions for your quality of life. Right. If you're just going under the knife because, hey, the trend is this.
And you love to eat cheesecake.
Or
your
partner
you could
is
do it
like,
every once a year, and that's a lot of people's
mentality. And I'm like, listen,
too.
I'm like, eat whatever you want. If at the end of the day you're willing to get up off the couch and go walk and go work out and get active, life is about balance, But if you have someone in your life, in your bedroom, maybe it's your own parent, your own mother, people all around us feel like they're entitled to their opinions about your body and about your life, and you got to just remember to just shut it down.
That's so true.
That is so true. And consider the source. I mean, if you have a beautiful person next to you, a girlfriend or whatever, and you see she's gorgeous, but she's constantly finding the things wrong in other people, and she points out something about you, there's no value in her opinion. Right. There's no care about you. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, just be happy with you, and remember that if you're gonna go under the knife and make yourself look like this, listen, I have a term that I always say. I'm like, this woman went to the Build-A-Bitch factory in Tijuana, Mexico. We call it the Build-A-Bitch, not to be freaking rude.
But they build her.
But men with some money are willing to go here. They'll meet a girl and be like, here, I sent her to the factory.
Right.
And they're like Build-A-Bear, like custom making their freaking girlfriends.
Exactly. And then there you are.
And I don't know. I just think that, ask yourself, why do you want
But here's another thing, though, really quick, in my opinion. I feel like even if you went to the Build-A-Bitch factory, as Rachel's saying, if you don't have any type of confidence, and I always say, if you are lacking your confidence, then no matter what you look like, you could be Miss Universe. If you're not confident in who you are and what you bring to the world and how you show up for the world, it's going to show. If you walk into a room and you're kind of slouched down and you're looking around, people are going to immediately see you. If you have this very, if you have this energy of very confident, not cocky, not egotistical, just confident, people are going to see that. And I think it doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with whether or not you went and had all this surgery done. It has to do with the way that you show up in a meeting or with friends or with family, and just being confident, and that's what it boils down to more than anything.
The number of women that I personally know and have in my life who over the last 10 years have gone under the knife so many times you're talking tummy tuck revisions. Now I want my muscles kind of tightened together. Oh, now I want the BBL. Oh, I got to get my arms. Oh my God, my boobs several times. Like there's so many things because as women, we're seeing things in the market or whatever. And we're just like, oh, like, and we're our own worst critics. Like we are our own worst critics.
We are.
And I have so many beautiful women that like, there's one particular person that obviously I don't say names, but she recently got things done. And when I tell you she was a very attractive woman before, I mean, she had a bunch of surgeries, but she was aging gracefully. She went and got, I don't know what done to her face. And I remember looking at her and I thought maybe it's temporary. Maybe it just happened.
It'll adjust.
But I've been seeing pictures, like that's just how she looks now. And I'm thinking, oh no, like, you know, so we have to learn to see the beauty in ourselves. And also for like us, like I'm in my 40s, accepting I'm gonna have some little wrinkles, I'm gonna have lines when I smile, like I'm, you know, it's about aging gracefully. And I'm not saying that, you know, don't take advantage of the things that are available to us in order to preserve and stuff like that, but I think that remembering that we are our own worst critic. You might have someone in your life that's fairly toxic and breaking you down. There's men that my friends' husbands, they have full-on man boobs with like hair and like beer bellies, and they're sitting there going, gosh, you know, she's gaining.
She used to be really hot.
Yeah, one literally told me at a dinner party, was like, can you convince her to get another tummy tuck, because she's kind of like losing her, you know, or whatever. And I'm looking at him.
As he's drinking it like a big old beer.
And I'm like at a dinner party, and I'm looking at him like, you can see the man boob situation.
You're like, you can use some black oil in the tummy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, wait, you expect her to look the way she did exactly like when she was 20, when you married her, like versus you looking like this, like So come on, you guys, consider the source, but also pay attention to the voice in your head. But also, we're telling you, feel beautiful, and if you have to do certain things to do that,
then do it. But I will also add to that, and my adding to that is this: I do get Botox, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't really care. I will be the first to admit it. I've obviously have had revisions on my breasts. They look like they're supersized. We all know that. But my point is that. I went to get my lips injected very minimally, like 3 years ago, by the way, 4 years ago maybe now. And the doctor was just a general doctor, by the way, just a standard physician that decided to do injectables upstairs in Chino Hills, okay?
Okay.
I'm putting out the city, and if you guys are somewhere, anywhere else in the world, then sorry. Chino Hills is a small town in Southern California, but point is that she decides to inject me with a whole syringe, which I had never done. And point is, I was completely purple. It was, my lips were so disfigured. It was
so
probably I had to have a special injection to dissolve all of it. And it took like 3 treatments before they dissolved it. I mean, and I still question whether or not it was completely dissolved. I will absolutely positively not inject my lips at all, because I think that it really changes and alters the way that your face looks. There are people like Kylie Jenner that can get away with those big, beautiful, lush lips. And I don't care what anybody says. It really added character to her, and in my opinion, I think they look beautiful on her. And
it was an area that made her incredibly insecure.
Right.
She was being bullied, and she admitted that when she kissed a boy for the first time, the boy said, "I've never kissed a girl with no lips before." And she didn't even think of herself as not having lips.
Right. And so when you take into consideration the trends, the looks, sometimes you have to take into consideration like the way that you look and how that's going to look on you. Because I've known and I know of girls that just have small petite faces, and the big lips are just distracting, because I'm having a conversation with someone, but I'm not really like in connection with a dialogue. I'm just staring at the lips like what made you decide to get your lips that injected? It's like they're supersized. And so I feel that, you know, you have to take into consideration whether or not you're you're hyper focusing on an area that is not, you know, what you think it is. And you have to also take into consideration if you think that that's going to alter you for the negative.
Yes.
As it did for me, by the way. And I absolutely hated it. And I think I may have had big lips like this for like, I don't know, like about like 4 months before I was like, this is not going to work. and I had to get them diluted.
You know, I love that you told that story because it reminded me of something, because it's not a one size fits all, right? We're talking about Kylie Jenner had no lips. Over time, the doctor managed to fix them. I say fix for her, right? Give her confidence. She built $1 billion brand around these lips. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, you said something that stood out to me about the one size fits all, because the number of times I've been in group chats where someone goes in with the girls and they're like, hey, look at this picture, and it's a girl in a bikini, and these are the boobs that I'm thinking of getting. And everyone's like, wow, those are beautiful boobs, and I would definitely go for it. I instantly think of the person who's getting them and think, first of all, this person, first of all, this person with the boobs is like, double zero. So there's a whole different definition look happening. There's a different everything happening.
And then the doctor probably did like high profile boobs versus like
and she knew all that. And she actually knows all about that. But it's not the same on that young girl that's, like we said, probably 90 pounds, 100 pounds. Versus you at 40, 45 at 165 pounds. It just doesn't equate.
Just too different.
And then let me tell you, this person takes that pill. By the way, real life, took the photo to her doctor. This is what I want. He says, that's the profile, that's the gummy, that's all these things.
Totally do that.
Got him done, and she's like, I don't know.
Now I look very.
He didn't. Not even that. She just goes, he didn't do them right. He didn't blah. And I'm saying, what makes you think that? She goes, because look at this and look at this. And I'm thinking, because the subject matter, being the person, is not the same person.
Right.
And, it's like hair color. You can look at someone and go, God, I love her hair color.
Blondish, and
I think I'll do it.
And then it may not go with your skin tone. You may just look different. And I think what happens is that, again, we look at these pictures, and not to mention, by the way, oh my gosh, the filters.
Hello, filtering.
And I have to say that we are 110,000% guilty for that. And if I told you otherwise, I'd be lying. And I think that we're living in a generation where everything is questionably altered and questionably not real.
Right.
Because a lot of the time it's like the famous catfishing. I know for a fact when I was growing up, the only catfish I knew about were the ones in the ocean. And outside of that, I had no idea what a catfish. We didn't have access to that. We had no access to catfishing. Now, if you ask the newer generation about a catfish, they would automatically link it to any social media platform. They probably wouldn't even know it's a real actual fish. And it's kind of like, so I'm kind of going to always go on a tangent. When they say, hey, give me a ratchet, you think it's like some hood rat from the club.
Whatever, the ratchet.
It's not. It's not actually a ratchet girl.
It's an actual tool.
So so my point to that is that the generations are changing, our minds are altering, the media is like selling fakeness, and we're all part of it, and we drank the Kool-Aid, in my opinion. And if you are really trying to get something done, do it for yourself. Do it because you think it's going to make you feel better. Don't do it for your boyfriend, for your girlfriends, because you want girls to, look at you. Do it because it's going to make you feel good. I know that, after my daughters, like, my boobs completely went to crap. And I was like, I have to do this for me. Not for anybody, but for me. And that's how that surgery began. But, otherwise I wouldn't have ever touched my boobs, let's just say. But, you have to do surgeries based on what you want, based on the goal, and the goal has to end with you, not with anybody else. It has to start with you and end with you. I want this for me. And I always say, hey, if you really want it, go get it. It's like a goal. If that's what you really want, get it.
Your confidence is something that's so important and vital to the quality of your life. If you look at, who's the lady that, oh my gosh, now I can't even think of her name, but there's people that are like very overweight.
Oh yeah.
And they're incredibly confident, and they work the room, and they are very successful, and they are married, and they have kids.
Are you talking about Lizzo?
No.
Oh God. Oh, I haven't caught with that one. I was like, wait, you're like, okay, never. How does she sing? What is it?
I have a little issue with Lizzo. Oh my goodness, Lizzo! If you are watching this episode,
unless you forward it to her.
like you guys want to tag her. I do have a little issue with Lizzo just because I get it. She's overweight and she's personally confident. I just don't understand the wearing the string bikinis and twerking on camera.
I think she's doing it with a purpose, and she serves a purpose. And the purpose isn't the fact that people are admiring, loving, liking. I think it's virability, and I think she's getting that. And it's a shock factor, virability, and she's getting it. Everything that we are like, it's cringeworthy
don't think she's,
it's cringeworthy.
You don't think she has a new man on the Minnesota Vikings?
I mean, somebody's gonna want to hit that probably in the Minnesota Vikings.
Someone's hitting it.
I mean, I don't
know.
I don't know the pool in Minnesota. Dating pool in Minnesota. I have no idea. I've never been. So maybe that's she's like up there, creme de la creme, creme de la creme,
creme de la creme.
But yeah, confidence.
But confidence is very important, and so whatever is going to make you feel confident within reason, just remember that you're probably just absolutely beautiful just the way you are. But if you want a nose job, get it. You want your, you want the Kybella, whatever that is, get rid of the double chin. Do what you got to do. You know what I mean? You got to go get all these machines to go send vibrations through your blood cells and melt your fat and drain it out I mean, the number of things we're doing as women, and what the hell are the guys doing? Chilling at In-N-Out.
Just chilling, having In-N-Out, double, all this stuff. And I'm guilty of it. I've drank the Kool-Aid, and I am 110% guilty of it. But anytime I've ever had anyone come to me, I'm like, I always say, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. And then at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, but it's not about me. It's about them. Yeah. And if you're healthy enough to go through it, do it. If that's what's going to make you feel better. Always know that no matter what it is, there has to be a maintenance process. You cannot just go get a liposuction, BBL, do all that stuff, and then go get a double. Yeah. There has to be some balancing act, because if not, in 2 years, you're going to be back at it again. Yep. And there's only so much you can do in that regard. So when it comes to plastic surgery, if that's what you really want to do, man, do it. And if you don't, it's okay. Just really think about, get a diet, like maybe a dietitian, personal trainer, and go and hit the gym. Yeah, that's all it is. Moderate. It's all about balance. Moderation. All right. Well, have a good one. We will see you next week. And remember, you deserve fresh lettuce. Keep it tight. Keep it right.